Today, a big show. Porsches include 15 911s, a 356, a 912, a 914, a Boxster, and a pair of Ferraris, a 360, and a Testarossa. Hi there. Porsche Sold and Bring a Trailer include a light ivory over black 1974 914, which sold for $14,500. A rust-free example, this was at least a fair sale. A black 2003 911 C4S Coupe X51 sold for $28,900. Yesterday we had a 996 C4S that sold at the top of the value range, over $50,000. This is at the bottom and still a decent car. This was well purchased. An Arctic Silver 2005 911S Cabriolet with 54,000 miles sold for $51,000. A somewhat surprising result, as the seller was completely absent from the auction. That, my friend, goes to show how frothy is the 997 market, and that buyers are chasing inventory. This was beyond fair, well sold. A repainted, white, modified 1979 911 SC Coupe with 150,000 miles located in Canada sold for $66,911. Originally oak green, a good color that I've owned, turbo flares have been added at each corner. This was well sold. From a turbo look to a turbo, a GT Silver 2007 911 Turbo Coupe with 96,000 miles sold for $69,999. More miles than typically seen on these, still this was well purchased and a highly capable 997. It's a turbo trio. A black 1987 911 Turbo Coupe 3.5-liter race car sold for $78,000. Allow me to read directly from the auction page. Invoices totaling over $88,000 for work performed from 2014 through 2016, along with over $76,000 of work completed from 2016 through 2022. Racing is expensive. This was likely a fair sale. An Irish Green 1968 912 Coupe sold for $86,912. Sold here in 2016 for $65,000. This is a very nice, well-preserved car. It's not a car that I could see personally spending that amount on, but 912s do have an audience, and this was well sold. A repainted silver 30-year family-owned 1963 356B Super 90 Coupe sold for $87,500. Originally black, this is a very clean example, and it was a fair sale. A meteor gray 46,000 kilometer 2011 911 Turbo Coupe located in Canada sold for $130,000. Frothy 997.2. Among 997s, the .2s are garnering even more attention and dollars. About the interior, one commenter that has this color combo stated that it turned heads. Yep, some of us do choose to avert our eyes from the horrors of the interior color and dead trees. This was well sold. A Grand Prix White 1986 911 Turbo Coupe with 59,000 miles sold for $135,000. A nicely restored Turbo. This sold to a non-paying buyer in July for $147,000. As then, this was well sold. A Guards Red 26,000-mile 2007 911 GT3 presented by a great seller sold for $135,000. Repainted at a very high level after having the sunroof deleted. And by the way, sunroof deletion or sunroof removal, which I think is nonsense, is sort of a double negative. No? Shouldn't we call it sunroof filling or roof smoothing? This sold here for $115,000 last November, which I called a bargain. Less of a bargain today. This was a fair sale. A black 2018 911 GT3 with 14,000 miles sold for $158,000. Perhaps a lesson in 2023 market dynamics, this car sold here in June for $170,000, and I created a short video about it, link below. At that time, it wore Pepita interior bits that I complained about. It was relisted in September and bid and unsold at $163,000. Subsequent to that listing, the Pepita bits were exchanged for Alcantara and carbon fiber, and the car was driven 350 miles. Very expensive, and still, I believe, well sold. More comparison photos will be in today's short video. A Viper Green Euro 1973 911S Coupe with 99,000 kilometers sold for $218,000. Delivered to Italy, it was imported to the US earlier this year. This is a mostly original car, and it sold at a fair price. A Guards Red 4,000-mile 2011 911 GT2 RS sold for $705,000. Limited to 500 examples, this is an uncommon beast. And another 997.2, rated at 612 horsepower, it's motorcycle fast and extraordinarily capable, but not scary to drive. Importantly, it's a manual. Well sold. For Ferrari, a gray over beige Canadian market 2001 360 Spider with 30,000 kilometers located in Florida sold for $107,000. An above-average car, this was well purchased. A Rosso Corsa 4,300-mile 1989 Testarossa sold for $191,000. Another seller absent during the sale, this was a fair result on a low-mile classic supercar. On PCarMarket, a GT Silver 24,000-mile 2004 Porsche Boxster S550 Spider Edition sold for $19,050. This limited edition of 1953 includes a tad more power and a handful of extra equipment in its build, plus this exclusive exhaust. This was a fair sale. A black, modified 2006 911 Coupe with 108,000 miles sold for $32,773. The combination of mods and miles made this an affordable 997. This was a fair sale. A Grand Prix white over blue 1987 911 Cabriolet with 62,000 miles sold for $60,000. A late model 3.2 cab, this car represents tremendous value. This was well purchased. A light yellow, one family owned 1973 911T Coupe Sportomatic with 120,000 miles sold for $63,150. Inaccurately described by the seller as totally stock despite some obvious replacements, and also described as sometimes tricky to start, this non-clutch manual 911 is an oddity. Not for me, but it found a home. This was probably a fair sale. A Carrera White modified 2007 911 GT3 RS style 4-liter with 40,000 miles sold for $146,000. Take a GT3 and make it quicker and faster. Okay. With 997.2 GT3 RS fender flares around and an engine pushed up to 4 liters by BBI, a well-regarded shop. For reference, this is an actual 4.0. Pretty close, and hundreds of thousands less than the original. I think this was a bargain. 2 cars on Bring a Trailer were bid with their reserves not met today, November 13th. A black 1984 Porsche 944 with 37,000 miles was bid to $10,844. A silver 1989 944 Turbo with 113,000 miles was bid to $23,500. On Cars and Bids, a white over black and Bordeaux red 2017 Boxster with 64,000 miles was bid to $33,500. That's a wrap for today's big day. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Be well.